What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Okay, so before I get into the reading, I just wanted to say that I'm running a flash sale. The sale ends on Thursday for 60-minute intuitive readings. So they're 50% off. You can get one for $133. Spots are limited. The booking window is open from this Wednesday, the 30th, until November 16th. Like I said, the sale ends Thursday night, so if you want to grab a spot, go ahead and do that while they're hot. And yeah, and my oven is going to beep in like 8 minutes, so don't be alarmed, I'm cooking. All right, let's dive in. I'm going to actually start with the oracle cards, so let's get, but I'm not going to look at them. So let's get 2 oracle cards. I'm putting them face down. And then I'm going to get 2 tarot cards. And we'll just start there. Okay, 1, 2, and then I'll get 2 of these pleasure oracle. 1, 2, okay. Let's look. Underneath these decks are 9 of Pentacles and Mary of Nazareth, the Mother of God, and it says, I am blessed, my courage gives birth to the divine, coming with the 9 of Pentacles. So right away it's feeling like in order to be self-sufficient, although that card is coming up right, 9 of Pentacles, even creeping under that is the 4 of Pentacles, which can be about creating foundation, creating more stability in the material realm, like needing to sort of conserve your resources, maybe be a little bit more frugal. Sometimes it's about clinging a little too much to the material realm, but you know, self-sufficiency is important. Like we do need to be able to stand on our own 2 feet. I think that's very important. And so that's what's under the deck. Yeah, I'm feeling like you might need to make a courageous choice here, but you're moving in the direction of being able to feel abundant on your own, which is half the battle. All right, so, of course we're getting a abundance card. First and foremost, it is the Mother of Believers, Khadijah, and it says, I am spiritually and financially abundant. I provide heaven and earth for myself. See what I mean? The messages were already coming very clear here, because with these 2 cards, it was feeling like this has been a really maybe challenging path for you, and you might still be in the midst of this lesson. I am very familiar with this lesson. In fact, I've had a lot of challenges. And it's interesting though, because every time that I would have like a financial challenge and I would commit even deeper to my spiritual path or to my service, which is this, my work, like money miracles would happen. And I'm not talking once, I'm talking many times. So I'm just saying that when you're meant to do something, it's amazing how the resources will come through. It's like the card in the deck that says your devotion will attract support and resources. So, but this card's coming upside down, which is why I'm like, you probably are having a challenge. And because it's coming with the Hierophant, it feels like it's a spiritual lesson. You know, and sometimes, especially when it comes to union, because I'm sure that a lot of you resonate with that if you're on my channel. And I mean union, inner union within yourself, like starting to harmonize your own energy and sort of masculine, feminine. A lot of us, I feel, have challenges that we have to overcome also in the material realm, spiritually and materially, because again, we've got to connect the dots. Like we can't just live in one realm or the other. We're having a human experience. So we need to do human things like pay our bills and have resources available. And I just feel that to not be, because remember, union template, if you're looking also at partnership, is about like not even just interdependence. It almost transcends interdependence. It's like a merging. But you can't really merge in a healthy way until you know how to be independent. And we're creating a new relationship template, conscious relationship template. It's not based in being together out of false attachments and illusions. It's about being together for unconditional love. And that is pretty radical, because that's not what relationships are like. Like most relationships are not that at all, and I'm not judging other relationships. I'm saying we're here to create something new. And to do that, it's like you need to be able to dissolve a lot of the old conditioning and the patterning, particularly if it's like codependency. And I really don't like to use that word, because the sort of connotation of codependency can be like, oh, you're with an addict, or the sort of old school definition. But I do feel like it's evolved into this like kind of entanglement energy where people are together, but not because they feel free. because they feel bound together or they feel obligated to be together, and that's a very different energy than what I'm helping people create, which, like I said, is conscious relationship and union as I see it and as I feel that it's meant to be embodied, is, like I said, two pillars that know how to like connect and merge, but you also know how to stand on your own. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be alone forever, that you have to do this for a super long time first. I'm just saying it's an energy. It's like an energetic before it's even like a tangible thing in this realm. It's almost like energetically you need to feel this vibe, 9 of Pentacles. And then, sorry, my computer's acting up. And then it's like the money will show up, the resources will show up. You'll be amazed how things will come together for you, and it's probably not going to be in the way that your logic thinks it's going to happen, because for me, it seems to always bypass my logic and come in some other way. And yet if you're on the right path, it's coming for you. Like, you'll just be supported. You might not have a ton, but you'll have what you need to take the next step. And then maybe you get a little bit more. You have what you need to take the next step. It might not come in bulk. It might not come like in a bomb all at once. But like for me, it's gotten progressively better over and over time. But I still have challenges and tests of faith and periods where things are quiet and I'm not sure how it's going to work out, and then things work out. So it takes a lot of courage. Again, it takes spiritual connection, faith, devotion, practice. This is why I meditate. This is why I teach people how to have a spiritual practice. It is not fluff. What I'm teaching you is direct from a lineage, ancient lineage of Tibetan Buddhism. Like, it's the real deal. Because we're not practicing just to not be anxious or whatever. Like, that's fine. But actually, we're practicing meditation in the way that I'm practicing it because you really want to become like a ninja. A mental ninja. Okay, and then we're getting timelines of pleasure in the reverse. Oops, there's my timer. Okay, so this one's saying your subconscious cannot tell the difference between reality and storytelling. It's a sponge for narrative, not an arbiter of truth. Past events that have hurt you, however real and impactful, can be rewritten in your subconscious in a way that allows you to shift your timeline, to change the story. As I was saying, there could be a story here around past hurts or scarcity. And if you're experiencing scarcity with money, you're probably experiencing scarcity in love and relationships. Like, it's very rare that it's only showing up in one area. It just might show up in sneaky ways in the other areas, and it may not be as obvious. But it's saying you can totally, as I was just saying with meditation, I meditate to rewrite the inner narrative. That is what I'm doing. And that's what I'm helping you do. And it can absolutely be done. So it says, oh wow, it literally says, dedicate sacred space, meditation, therapy, journaling to reclaim your timeline. It's so interesting because everything always lines up. Like, I've been redecorating my apartment. I'm finally like in a stable place. I got a couch. I got a new altar table. So I just put that together. I've got the altar. I moved it into a corner dedicated. I had a space, but it was a little crowded. And now it's like in its own corner. And again, I'm feeling this expansion. And it's literally talking about it here. It's like, I know that now that my sacred space is even more beautiful and even more special, you can just feel it like ramping up in life, you know, like one thing follows another thing. And if you put the energy and you put the devotion, you're going to see results. So it's saying here, you probably need to rewrite some of this subconscious narrative. Go back to memories of feeling unworthy. Scan for evidence of your resistance, however small. And in what ways did you protect your safety, your dignity? How did you overcome it? Maybe you didn't yet. Your inner child is still in you. Give them permission to claim what's theirs. Yes, this is probably stuff that you grew up with or things that you saw as a child, or again, you're carrying stuff from your childhood, especially if your family struggled financially or you saw one or both of your parents really struggling. It's sticky and it takes some persistence to get in there and repattern these things. But like I said, I've done a lot of work around this. It's still a work in progress and things are still evolving. But as I said, money can come, and abundance is more than money, one. Two, because it might come in the form of support. It might come in the form of someone giving you a hand up. It might come in the form of emotional support, but also money. And like I said, money often for me has come in other avenues that I didn't necessarily anticipate it coming, but it's come when it's needed to come. And obviously one huge channel is through work, but when it wasn't coming through work, it came in other ways. But usually it was in a moment of challenge when I was like being called to commit more deeply, even though I wasn't seeing the results yet. or I was pivoting or something. So that's what I'm kind of getting in this first section. Now, what do we get over here? We've got the Hermit in the reverse, cut the cord in the reverse, and the Queen of Saintly Women, Rabia, in reverse. I am in service of divine love. I move the way love asks me to move. Do you see what I mean? And that's reversed. If things, and they're all reversed today, all the oracle cards. It's saying courage reversed, the financial and spiritual independence reversed, and this, I'm in service of divine love in reverse. With Hermit, another spirit. These are two very spiritual cards, you know, because the Hierophant can also be spiritual teaching, spiritual wisdom. See how he's like here with his students or disciples or whoever those people are, listening to him talk or lecture. Like, this to me feels like a spiritual growth curve, particularly around money and feeling abundant. But again, it's like you have to feel these things internally to some degree so that your outer world can change, because as within, so without. That's universal law. So if you're moving the way that love wants you to move, you're probably going to have to do things that are going to feel uncomfortable or even radical. Like, you might be like, this doesn't make any sense. Why am I feeling called to do this? But again, fear and ego can make you do some really fucked up stuff. It can make you sabotage the things that are good for you because you're too afraid to take a risk, or you're like, oh my God, that is so out of the ordinary. That's so not the thing I would normally do. And yet you're being called to do it. So the Hermit in the reverse is like a resistance, you know, to that, to listening to your inner voice, because it is speaking to you. You are hearing your intuition. You are. Are you listening? You know what I mean? And that might be new for you. And I remember the time, of course, now my spiritual practice is my top priority. So I really trust my messages, and I get really clear messages a lot of the time. And I also have very prophetic dreams. So it's like, but I had to develop that muscle. Like, you don't go to the gym and just pump without training, or you're going to hurt yourself. So it's also like, you're not going to trust every intuitive vision or feeling if you're not used to it. You're going to be like, I'm crazy. I'm literally Delulu. And I'm sure you're not. But to the muggles of the world, you know, they think that this is weird. And I'm like, I prefer to believe in magic, because my life is magical. It is so fucking magical. But it's like, if I didn't believe in magic, would it be magical? You also have to believe. So cut the cord in the reverse. It says, as desiring emotional beings, we all have the capacity to be toxic. This is true. The trouble starts when we're caught up with someone who believes that they don't. Someone who has no desire to grow or to encourage another's growth. You cannot make these people change. You cannot rush their growth. Oh, and my favorite saying, rosebuds, actually these are like little cranberries. I got the fall bouquet. Rosebuds forced open will only be destroyed. Sooner or later, life asks us to burn a bridge or conduct a ritual to cut an energetic cord. In these times, search deep within and ask yourself, is this person restoring my energy or draining it? If they're draining it, it's parasitic in nature. This isn't your hill to die on, angel. It's theirs. That's intense. But you know what? You got to make boundaries sometimes. It's just like, or if you've been in a situation, I'm going to clarify that. If you've been in a situation where you're feeling called to leave, like you're feeling like, you know what, the situation is at the end of the road. I'm at the end of the rope here. I'm at the end of this lesson, but I'm going to have to like finally end it. Let this be another sign. Okay, let's just clarify. What else do we need to know about this? Yeah, judgment reversed. Resisting the spiritual call. This is another spiritual lesson. There it is again, the angel just calling to these people to be in their truth. These three cards, Hermit, Hierophant, and the Judgment card, are like some of the most spiritual lesson cards in the major arcana. You're getting all three. And it's in the reverse because there is just this resistance to my throat is starting to get scratchy. It's like the final judgment call. It's like, you gotta make it. You've got to drop the axe and just be like, what needs to end so that I can free myself? Because it says freedom, right? The saint of, sorry, not freedom. I'm hearing freedom in my head. Where does it say freedom on here, or does it not? It doesn't, but I'm hearing it, so we're going to trust that. It's saying I move in the way love asks me to move. I'm sure that's new for you. I'm sure you've only moved in the way logic wanted you to move, or fear, like I said. And so this is going to feel strange. What else do we need to know? Judgment reversed. The Chariot upright after that is so positive, you guys. That's like when you make this final call, things are going to blast open for you. It doesn't mean it will be easy. It just means the doors are going to open, whatever that means for you. Because this is a person taking, this is a card of Cancer energy in the zodiac. Movement, rapid movement forward, taking the driver's wheel, being like, I'm in fucking control of, I'm in charge of my life, and I'm making a decision for myself. Because see how he's alone in the card? I'm making a decision for myself. It's a tough judgment call. It's going to be a risk of some sort, or there wouldn't be so much fear and resistance, because this message is coming out over and over and over again. There's definitely fear, but like that's why it says you need to be courageous. I am blessed. My courage gives birth to the divine. By the way, another divine love card directly under, and I think there's only 2 in this deck. And she says, the mystic of divine love. Love is divine and I am nothing except love. 2 cards about divine love. Remember, divine love is not love that's divine in the human realm. Divine love is you like merging and connecting with the love of like universal love. Something so much greater than human love. Something so much more limitless than human love. And the only way that I felt even a glimmer of this is through my meditation practice. Like, or maybe like a very brief, intense moment in, like I remember like 1 or 2 intimate moments that felt like this, where I was like, I'm not even, I didn't even feel like it was in my body. I was like, and I remember the day after being like, what happened? Just like, wow, that was really intense and beautiful. And also like, I've never experienced anything like that before. You know, but that's like sacred sexuality too. That's why you practice. So yeah, we'll just get one more. Yeah, 4 of Cups in the reverse is like time to, with the Star card, it's time to go towards your destiny, and you're going to have to open up your arms. You're going to have to be a little more receptive to what's unknown, because this is spirit like handing this guy the cup and he's not looking. He's sort of like, meh, I don't want it. But it's like, open up, look up. You know, the blessing is trying to come in, and this is emotional. And then it's like your destiny unfolds. The Star card is going, it's like the stars align. And so, what else do we need to know? Under the deck is show and tell. And it says, very few of us have mastered the art of aligning our actions with our words. Here we go. And while the latter are important, the former speak volumes, despite flourishes in language. The truth is, showing someone who you are and what you will need will happen regardless of your intention. So make sure you're showing up the way you really want to show up. With every gesture, behavior, ingrained habit, and choice, we showcase our self-worth. The way we treat ourselves is the way we teach others to treat us. Can you express your true desires through aligned action? When it comes, you got to lead by when it comes to this, it says you've got to lead by example, show and tell. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have to make a tough decision here with this judgment call and this cutting the cord. You know, this is a difficult choice, but what it's going to do is, it's like you finally saying yes. It's like the universe has been trying to give you something, a new beginning, an emotional one that's going to make you really happy. But you haven't, you've been resisting it because of a lot of reasons. And I do feel a lot of fear here, you know, a lot of fear and internal, like wobble, like going back and forth, being like, is this the right decision? Is this the right choice? I don't know. Is it the right choice? Because it's a big choice. It's a life lesson. It's a huge one that will change your destiny. It's a choice point. It's a crossroads. But I feel, let's just get one more oracle card to wrap it up. Like, what's on the other side of this choice? You make the hard choice. You finally do it. You make the judgment call. You cut the cord with whomever that is. Again, it's not to say like, oh, this person's so toxic. It's to understand that some people are not going to grow with you. Some people are not meant to grow with you. It's like some people come for a season or a reason, a lesson or a blessing, but not everybody's meant to stay forever. You could call it a karmic relationship, although all relationships are karmic because every relationship is a result of our karma. It's just people tend to think of karma with like maybe a negative connotation, and those lessons, some karmic lessons are very difficult. So if you want to call it that, even though every relationship is karmic, you know, it's like that type of relationship where it's really, really challenging, and it's like, but you know that you have to take it all the way to the end, because if you don't, it's like you won't be free. And so once you graduate from a karmic lesson like this, it is going to, like I said, I've been through this more than one time in many areas of my life. Like the fucking door is going to blow open and you're going to be like, oh my God. Trust me, I'm sure you're going to be very pleasantly surprised at what comes through later, like after this decision, but you do have to go through the portal. It is like an initiation. So let's just get one more card. Like, what happens after you make this tough decision? Dakini, the enlightened feminine. My gut instinct is wise beyond reason. I trust my intuition to guide me. This is such a, I've been saying it the whole reading. The Hermit reverse, Judgment reverse, the Hierophant. I even had a dream last night that was like the most vivid, specific. It was actually so beautiful and so prophetic, and I feel like it is a future vision that is going to happen. And the other person in the dream was talking about this. And it was just like, and I didn't say anything. I just let them have space to make the decision that they felt was the correct choice, because in the end, that's all that really matters. You have to give people freedom to choose things. It was just amazing. I woke up and I was like, I need a journalist immediately write all of this. It was so detailed, but this was a big theme. And I think this is so, again, if you're ever in a situation with another person where like you feel like you're maybe on the receiving end or you're on the other side of it, and like they're unsure about something and it will affect you somehow, like but you don't ever, like, I really don't believe in ultimatums. I believe in being clear about what you need and having boundaries when you need them. But I don't ever believe you need to pressure a person in any scenario. I don't care if it's work related, money, romance, whatever. I don't believe you ever should be pressuring somebody to make a decision, but you do need to uphold your own standards. So that might look like, listen, if you can't meet my needs, and this is a very crucial need for me, or whatever, we've reached a crossroads and you might need to, you know, I've had to do this before where I've had to withdraw or be like, listen, right now I have to do what's best for me. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I don't care about you, or it doesn't mean that I'm not invested in this situation at all. It means right now, if we're not, like I said that at 222, if you're not meeting it at the same wavelength, it's okay. But that's hard. Like sometimes you have to let things go, maybe temporarily, or you need to walk away from a situation. But the point is, like, a person needs to come to, and you do too, like you need to come to these decisions on your own terms. That's the only way that it's ever going to feel good. Otherwise, people feel like they're under the gun almost. It's like they did the thing, but they didn't feel maybe that it was their total, like it wasn't coming from their heart. Maybe they made the choice from their head. And that can lead to a lot of like resentments and problems down the road. I just personally, it does take more faith. It takes more confidence. You have to be very confident and believe you deserve that. You deserve people to freely choose you or to choose things in their life. Everyone's a grown up. You may not like it. Sometimes people do things and you're like, why can't you just make the right decision? And it's like, they might need to make a decision that ends up poorly later, but they needed to learn that lesson, just like you do too. I've made choices and been like, why the fuck did I do that later? I needed to learn the hard way or something. My point is, let people have the freedom to choose and have the confidence that you deserve to be chosen. For example, if it's a relationship, like you're never going to have to put the gun to the person's head and be like, be with me or else. If you're doing that, I'm sorry, I would take a serious step back and be like, I probably need to work on my own boundaries, my own confidence, my own integrity, and being the living embodiment of what I want to receive in a relationship, because in that energetic, you will get people that feel free with you. And when you feel free to choose somebody or something, and then you devote your heart to it, it is so beautiful. But if you're like, you have to do X, Y, Z or else, there's other things going on, you know? There is, I promise, like, because I've been in both realms, and that realm sucks, but being in a realm of feeling free and giving other people the freedom, which means sometimes you have to walk away from things, or people will walk away from you. But if someone walks away from you and you felt like, oh, if I don't give this person an ultimatum, they're going to leave, the door is right there. Let people walk away, because you know what? That's leaving the space open for what's really meant for you. But then in that case, you have to feel confident enough that you can leave space and that you deserve for someone to choose to fill that space without you, like I said, strangling them into it. So yeah, that's it, you guys. Love you so much. If you want to participate, get a reading half off, you guys. If you've been wanting to connect one-to-one, now is the time. I don't even do 60-minute calls. I do 90-minute calls, and they're usually over $300. So this is literally a great deal. 60 minutes, $133 till the sale is over. Halloween night, the 31st here, Eastern Standard Time in the States. I will also put the link in my community tab with a little posting there so you guys are aware, and the link below for the flash sale is there as well. And obviously all the other links are there. The only other thing I've got going on is that the waitlist is open for Magdalene Mysteries, which is a year-long journey for women on the path of union, all about Tantric alchemy, and it's going to be amazing, magical, and intimate. So spaces are limited for that as well. So hop on the waitlist. You can get the details at the link if that intrigues you, because we're going to be diving into some really awesome stuff over the year. Otherwise, because again, you can't force a rosebud to open. Deep intimacy and conscious relating and sacred union work is deep. So you need the time and the space to allow things to land and to integrate the stuff and actually process it without feeling like you're rushing it. Otherwise, that's all, you guys. I'm so excited. It's Scorpio season. Before it turns into stick season, we're going to make the most of this. So I will see you guys soon. Love ya.